So I'm back with the Magic the Gathering Unhinged box. I'm to the last pack, which is the white cards I'm going to be opening. So the first one is Flavor Judge. It's a 2/2 creature, bird advisor. Choose target spell while you tap it. Choose target spell or ability that targets a permanent you control. Then ask a person outside the game if the story of what will happen makes sense. If they say no, sacrifice Flavor Judge and counter that spell or ability. So basically, it's a potential counter spell by sacrificing the creature. But you have to, ask someone from outside the game, so it kind of makes it a little bit interesting. That's the thing that I like about the gray border cards is sometimes they're entertaining. The next one is called Frankie Peanuts. It's a 2/3 legendary creature. It's an elephant rogue. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may ask target player a yes or no question. If you do, that player answers the question truthfully and abides by that answer if able until end of turn. So just a really what the fuck, this doesn't look like an actual card. It was just like someone randomly doing some scribbles. It's called RWO3 underscore UND, and it looks like um, it initially had a mana cost with a couple of whites, but it's like almost like a paper design made to look like it's over a card, but like off kilter a little bit. And it says O2O white, so I'm not sure if it's supposed to be two of any color and two white maybe for the mana cost. And it says, "Look at me, I'm R&D." It's an enchantment. As "Look at me, I'm R&D" comes into and then comes into is crossed out and says enters the battlefield. The next line says play and is crossed out. Choose a number and a second number, one higher or one lower than that, and that is crossed out, and it says the first number. All in, all instances of the first chosen number, and then there's a word crossed out, and it says in the full text of each permanent spell and cards in any zone are changed to the second chosen number. So just the way, stuff's crossed out and, there's an arrow to like certain things, it's just made to not look like it's written well, almost like, a first draft of a, English paper where, the teacher crossed out and wrote better word choice or something. So the next card, the picture is kind of like a child drew it. Look at me, I'm the DCI. And the picture is cockeyed almost over like a normal card, like like they try to take something and place it over the card almost, but it was meant to look like that. The mana cost is 5 and 2 planes. It's a sorcery. Ban a card other than the basic land card for the rest of the match. All cards with that name in any zone or sideboard are removed from the match. And the flavor text is, few understand the DCI's rigorous decision making process. So just trying to have some fun at, the DCI's expense, I guess. Next card is Staying Power. It's an enchantment. Until end of turn and this turn, effects don't end. The flavor text says, Mongo's fleas no longer bothered him, but the family of goblins that had moved in behind his left ear was starting to get really irritated. Next card is Sword of Dungeons and Dragons, which costs 3. And that's kind of interesting because the new set of Magic cards, I think, has a Dungeons and Dragons kind of theme to it. So, like a lot of swords, this is an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from rogues and from clerics. So, sort of something I would maybe expect from some of the swords, like, Sword of Fire and Ice or Sword of Light, or that grouping of, like, we're going to do fun stuff to boof up the creature and maybe give protection. It kind of reminds me of those swords. Whenever a crypt creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 4/4 gold dragon creature token with flying and roll a d20. In parentheses, this is a 20-sided die, in case, maybe we don't understand. It explains the rules like it does when the rules sometimes come out. If you roll a 20, repeat this process. And it costs 2 to equip, in addition to, the 3 you're paying to play it onto the battlefield. So that's kind of entertaining that has you rolling a 20-sided die, but it doesn't really tell you what rolling the dice does for you, other than if you roll a 20, you're rolling again. Like, it's like, is that affecting the battlefield, making someone draw? Like, was it? No, just if you roll a 20, roll again. Okay. Next card. Sire Cadian Night Owl. So obviously it's supposed to look like a owl. It almost looks like it's supposed to be a knight, so they attempted to depict it as an owl in armor almost. It costs 3 and 2 whites. It's a legendary creature, bird, and then bird knight. Knight life link. Damage dealt by knights you control also cause you to gain that much life. If you tap a white mana, Sire Cadian Night Owl gains vigilance until end of turn. Activate this ability only from sunrise to sunset. Or you can pay a swamp. Sire Cadian Night Owl gains flying until end of turn. Activate this ability only from sunset to sunrise. So it kind of gives you that, like, you get option of one ability or another, depending on the time of day, or in the last one, time of night. So next we have Adorable Kitten, and obviously it's a kitten. The card looks like it's supposed to be split down the card for some reason. I noticed a few of them in um, other of the cards colors were like that. When this creature enters the battlefield, and then on the other side it says roll a 6-sided die. You gain life equal to the results, and it's a 1/1 cat. You know, it only costs the points to put it out, so you know, of course, they're only gonna make it a 1/1, and hey, you know, you gain a little life depending on what you roll when it enters the battlefield. The next thing is a wall. It looks like some kind of a beast almost, but like the skin or flesh or whatever, the body is basically like the back of a card, but like the creature is then like drawn like it was cut out, like the the back of the card was cut out to make it look like a creature. And then it's an instant, and there's actually a drawing down in the text part that looks like, you know, a milk jug with a picture on it. And it says, exile a target attacking creature, then remove it from the game. Then put it into the absolutely removed from the freaking game forever zone. So basically, it's exiling an attacking creature, but it's really exaggerating that to the point of, in addition to saying it's exile, say it's removed from the game, and then say it's absolutely removed from the game forever. Let's make that clear, repeating this for the third time and like really making a spectacle of it, and like, yeah, just having fun with it, because you know that's what the silver border cards do. Next we have MC. It's 2 in a planes. It's a 0/1 human rogue. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield, you may stand up and say in a deep, booming voice, presenting, and that creature's name. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on that creature. So, I guess, you know, if you go to, like with this on the battlefield, if you go to play another creature onto the battlefield, you then, like, stand up and say, I'm playing, and then you get a 1/1 counter on that creature. Like, that seems easy enough if you're not being lazy. The next card is Go to Jail. So, kind of feels like the Monopoly spot where if you land on, you know, go directly to jail, do not pass go. Like, it's just like, let's slap something into Magic the Gathering that involves jail. So it's an enchantment that costs 1 planes. When Go to Jail enters the battlefield, exile a target creature and then opponent controls until Go to Jail leaves the battlefield. At the beginning of the upkeep, the exile card's owner, that player rolls 2 6-sided die. If they roll doubles, sacrifice Go to Jail. Okay, so I didn't know that's actually what was going to be a Monopoly reference, but That was the first thing that I thought of when I read the name. And, obviously there's a couple of, enchantments that, sort of do something similar, that they exile, a creature until the enchantment leaves play, but it doesn't have that Monopoly feel of, like, in the creature's owner with, rolls for doubles. Like, it doesn't have that feel. Whereas, the silver board one does, because, they like to have fun. They're not legal cards to play in tournaments, but they're certainly entertaining, which is why I'm opening this and sharing it with people, so you can see how entertaining some of the cards can be. So the next card is Humming Dash, and it looks like, it's one of those part cards that, you would get another card over here that would complete it, so to speak. It's a +2/+3. The creature type is bird, has flying. Whenever you attack with two or more creatures, and then it looks like the text would go on to whatever the next card's supposed to be. And then below that has augment, 3 in the planes, and in parentheses it tells us what that means. 3 in the planes, reveal this card from your hand, combine it with target host, augment only as a sorcery. So you're basically playing this as a sorcery, but it becomes like an enchanted creature, or like an equipment creature, where you're playing it onto a host, so to speak, which is another creature. And that's why it says +2/+3, because like an enchantment creature, you're giving the creature you're putting it on +2/+3, and then because this is a bird, it has flying, so you're giving it whatever creature is flying also. Next we have Knight of the Hokey Pokey. So it costs 2 planes, and the creature type Knight, because it's Knight of Hokey Pokey. It's a 2/2 with first strike, pay 1 in the planes, do the Hokey Pokey. Prevent all damage a source of your choice would deal to Knight of the Hokey Pokey this turn. In parentheses, it tells us to do the Hokey Pokey, choose an arm, a leg, or your whole self, and put it in. Put it out. Put it in. Shake it all about. You do the Hokey Pokey and turn yourself around. And the flavor text is, that's what it's all about. Because, yeah, it has to be fun. Next we have Old Guard. It's 1 in the plains. It's a creature, artifact creature. The creature type is Cyborg Soldier. It's a 2/1 that if you tap a plains and tap Old Guard, tap target creature without reminder text. Reminder text is any italicized text in parentheses that explains rules you already know. I talked about it earlier, sometimes they, tell us stuff in parentheses. Usually that's when they're trying to introduce something new, but sometimes it sticks for a couple of sets, even though you might be familiar with what it is by then. Next we have Ordinary Pony, and this is another one of those cards that looks like it's split down the middle almost. It costs 2 in the plains. It's a host creature, so that goes along with the other creature that was an augment creature or something that needed a host. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may exile a target non-horse creature you control that wasn't put on the battlefield with this ability this turn. Then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. So I guess by playing ordinary pony, you can bounce something, by like exiling it almost and then putting it back onto the battlefield, which if you have triggered abilities would be nice. If not, it's just kind of like, okay, it's gone, now it's back, whoop-de-doo. Like, it could go either way depending on what kind of creatures you have. Next we have Paper Tiger, and I don't know how well you can see the quality of the picture, but it's supposed to look like a tiger, obviously, that's made out of like paper. It just, it's colored like the tiger, but it's like almost like a half-assed origami, like here it's shaped like a tiger. So it's an artifact creature. Obviously, the creature type's cat. It's a 4/3 creatures named Rock Lobster, can't attack or block. So this is the last one in the 3 pairs. So Rock Lobster, Paper Tiger, and then I think there was Scissor Lizard, maybe. I don't remember. They were all like unique in that, okay, that's different, but you're doing the rock, paper, scissors thing. The flavor text: the tiger is always quick to fold. Strutting Turkey, 3 and a white, and again, partially split down the middle. When this creature enters the battlefield, exile a target creature with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard. If it has augment, combine it with a host you control. Otherwise, put it onto the battlefield. So that's kind of different, I guess. Again, the non-basic land is Underdome. Tap to add a colorless, or you can tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to pay Silverboard cost, which makes sense because these are all Silverboard cards except for the basic lands. So, why not have a land that plays out your silver bordered cards? And then because this is, white cards in the packet, it came with the, white plains, basic lands. And that was all for the unsanctioned box. This is the 5th one. Hopefully you enjoyed watching these series, and keep checking back. I have a couple of other Magic the Gathering things I was going to open at some point, and I'm also going to keep up with doing some different games on the computer. So check back somewhat frequently. Hopefully you'll find something you like, and have a good day.